Welcome to Conversations with Friends at Friends Church. I'm Todd Frazier, your host, and in this episode, we have the chance to sit down with Justin Flom. Justin is an extremely talented magician. He's been featured on many television shows, produced and starred in his own television series, and performed on stages across the world. We talk about everything from walking through Walmart with a Satanist to talking about Jesus with an atheist on his deathbed. Welcome with me, Justin Flom, to Conversations with Friends.
What's happening? Thanks, Todd. What's up, guys?
Awesome. So this is a really exciting thing to talk to somebody that's in the magic community. Like you've been doing magic how long?
My whole life.
Your entire life.
My dad was a magician. My uncle was a magician. Little brothers, little sister, magicians. Wow. So grew up around it.
So did you do it with your parents growing up?
Yeah, it was a whole family thing. We would travel around doing magic in county fairs and churches and schools.
Really?
Yeah, it's the best way to grow up. And whatever you're picturing in your head, like a little family of 6 in their backyard doing magic tricks, yeah, it was that weird. That's what it looked like. That's exactly what it looked like. We used to cut my mom in half. We would have picnics with our friends, and our friends were all fire eaters and jugglers and stilt walkers and unicyclers. Wow. So the parties that we had at my house were spectacular.
Oh, yeah.
It was just, it looked like a circus.
Because it literally was a circus.
Yeah.
I mean, in a sense.
And we were very involved in an organization called the Fellowship of Christian Magicians.
Really?
And there's chapters all over the country, but those were the people that raised me. So I got to dabble in all the arts, the entertaining arts. So, ventriloquism and juggling. And I was this close to being a juggler. Yeah.
What made you choose magic over that?
It didn't come naturally enough for me.
Okay.
Juggling, like the other kids who were juggling, were picking up stuff easier. And I was like, this is going to be a lifelong struggle if I do this professionally. So I'll juggle, I'll pass around the clubs, and I can get some good numbers up. But nothing. And also now, like, juggling has gotten insane.
Well, some of the stuff they're doing with juggling is nuts.
So they've got computers now doing algorithms to see what the right kind of spins are for the patterns so that you can get your numbers up so that people can do record-breaking, 10 clubs and stuff like this. Yeah, it's unreal. So
I never would have thought of technology coming into juggling like that.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Right. Yeah.
What, is that happening in magic as well?
Yeah, magicians back in the day, 100 years ago, we were at the forefront of technology because we would use it to fool you. And it's a quote, any sufficient enough technology is indistinguishable from magic. Huh. So if you think about it, if I go back a long enough time and I go, here I have a magic box, this is a cold pizza. Now I have a hot pizza. That's a magic trick.
That's a magic trick.
At
Absolutely.
a certain point in time, that is a magic trick. So sufficient enough technology is indistinguishable from magic. The challenge that magicians have to come up with now is there will be a point where a lot of things will be explained away with technology.
Sure, because they can figure it out.
Right, like people have already been like, that's just color changing ink. Right. Like that's heat sensitive ink and the card goes from the 5 of clubs to the king of diamonds because of changing. Now, most of that's ridiculous and those people are grasping at straws. But, there will be a point where everything that we do will have to be like, all right, bring a deck of cards to the show so we can use your deck so you know that it's not the computer chip enabled deck that I've got or whatever.
Computer chip enabled, yeah.
Right.
It's a computer deck, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I say that, but that exists.
That really happens a lot. People like magic hecklers are like, I know how you did that, and they have no idea.
The challenge is so I think that magic is an amazing thing that you can just sit and enjoy without knowing how to, but it's not the human mentality.
Yeah.
We want to know how something works. Like, we're the human species that put a man on the moon because we just wanted to go there. Like, we're like, let's do that thing.
Go to the moon and drive around.
That's right, as Seinfeld says,
yes.
Exactly. But the thing is, that curiosity will steal the wonder from you at a magic show. That human thing. So you got 2 options. Either you can watch a mediocre magician and just turn off your brain, which most people don't want to do, or the magic is good enough that it can bypass all of those things in the brain and get you to a point of mystery where you really don't know what you're looking at. You have no idea how it's done. Hopefully we'll do that a few times in the show tonight.
Yeah.
But that place is uncomfortable for people. Most people aren't used to experiencing mystery. It's an uncomfortable spot to be. So my job as a magician is to really slowly lead them to that spot, to understand, look, this is safe. I'm not here to make fun of you or take advantage of you.
Right.
To quote Seinfeld again, he says magic is, here's a coin, now it's gone, you're a jerk. Now it's back, you're still a jerk.
Right.
And a lot of magic does feel like that, like ha-ha sort of thing.
Yeah.
But no, I really do think that magic can create a story real time that is a very interesting experience if you let it happen.
Do you still have a lot of mystery to magic? Do you watch magicians and just, do you let yourself, or since you know all the
difficult.
tricks?
Well, so it's definitely harder to find. And my brain works the way that the people I hate brain works. Like the people who watch a magic show and they're like trying to figure it out, I hate those people, right?
Sure.
And that's the way my brain works. So it's just that sort of thing. And I don't hate those people. I'm going, you're missing the point of what it is. But
You're
understand
missing the experience. The experience of being
totally
in awe.
understand. The problem is a couple friends of mine are training people the wrong way. So
And what do you mean by that?
Well, we've got Penn and Teller.
Yeah.
For some friends of mine, and they do this TV show called Fool Us.
Right.
So I don't like this show. Because I like seeing magicians, and I'm happy that some of my buddies are getting on television and doing cool stuff. But this show says, first we watch a magic trick, then we bust the magic trick.
Right.
And then the magician says yay or nay. That's not the formula for how you watch magic. But because the young audiences now are seeing that, like I'll perform for a young kid who's not seen any magic except for what's on television right now. And remember, Chris Angel hasn't been on television for a decade.
Right. It's been 10 years?
Something like that,
Wow.
yeah. It's been a long time. So the young kids are seeing Fool Us way more than they're seeing any of the other stuff.
Well, and the YouTube magicians, like the Zach Kings and which I think Zach's, do you know Zach?
Yeah, but he calls himself a magician out of necessity.
He's an editor.
His name was Final Cut King for a long time.
Yeah.
But because all of his stuff looks like magic tricks, he's had to learn some magic tricks, like sleight of hand, because I'd imagine what happened there is his management was like, we got to take you out on the road. And he goes, guys, I do videos.
Right.
And they're like, well, you
just
learn a couple magic tricks.
Yeah.
Can you learn a card trick or whatever? He's like, I guess. So he learned some magic tricks. And he's kind of trying that magic thing now. But Fool Us just trains magicians to do that. But that's all very inside baseball. That's the political nature of who's, magic. There's always somebody at the forefront, kind of leading the charge for showing what magic is to the public. And right now, Penn and Teller are there. They're
very much there. But and Penn Jillette, he's very interesting to me because of his outspoken atheism, and I really enjoy Penn, and his thought process is interesting to me.
It's a good talker.
Great talker.
Yeah.
I was just listening to him on a podcast where somebody said that. He said, you're the kind of person that you're big, you're intimidating, and you talk very well, so it'd be very easy to just say, oh, okay, I trust you. Like, I believe you.
Right. And he uses that to his advantage, and he knows that he will bully somebody, and like he is totally fine at a party, stopping that party to take on one religious person, and he's 6'7" or something. I forget how tall he is. Huge man,
ginormous,
and he's a very boisterous voice, and he's blah, 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 and he'll do that, and he knows more about the Bible than most Christians.
Really?
Yeah. So there's a really fun thing where, before he did this show, Fool Us, I had him on my TV show, Wizard Wars.
Yes, saw that.
So we did a couple seasons of Wizard Wars right before Fool Us was and what's crazy is this year in television, Penn and Teller were everywhere. This is a couple years ago. And I imagine what happened is Penn and Teller are sitting in their room with their management, and they're going, well, you've got like 7 TV pitches out there. And they're like, well, surely all of them aren't going to make it to television.
Oh, no.
And then all of them did. All of them did. So Fool Us was sold that year, and they had to leave Wizard Wars, and Wizard Wars didn't get picked up, and all this sort of stuff.
Now,
but
you created Wizard Wars, am I correct?
me and a buddy, yeah. Rick Lax, who's probably the most visible magician today because he's on Facebook, and he's got several billion views now, which is just an insane number. I'm at 2 billion. But he's got me beat by some crazy number too.
Is there competition in that a little bit between
well,
just for fun?
We're best friends, and yes.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, it's cool. I hit 100 million on one video on Facebook. This is like 5 years ago. And he's like, oh, there's something to Facebook videos now. It was a new thing.
Yeah.
So then he just took it and destroyed my numbers by taking advantage of the Facebook algorithm and other things.
Yeah.
But on Wizard Wars, we did a trick, me and a buddy named Greg Wilson. He's also a brother in Christ. And all of the ingredients, so the concept of Wizard Wars was we were to create magic with ordinary objects. So they'd give you a fruit basket, a fire extinguisher, and a down pillow. And they'd be like, make a trick.
And they choose the ingredients, basically.
The producers of the show.
Sure.
Yeah, and there's a real thing. There's game show law. So even though I'm a co-creator and a producer on the show, because I was one of the contestants, one of the wizards or master magicians on the show, I couldn't know the ingredients to make the magic with before the contestants that would come around from around the country to try to beat me.
Yeah.
So this is a real thing.
Yeah.
And we had very short amount of time to create the magic, and still the hardest thing I've ever done.
Yeah, that's
people are like, "How's fatherhood?" I'm like, "Still not harder than making a TV show."
Wow.
So we were given all these. We were given water and fish and sandwiches and fishing, and my buddy and I go, this is kind of like, and fishing waders. He said, you can do all biblical magic with this stuff.
I was just thinking
we have the loaves and fish. Yeah. We got fishers of men. We got water. We can walk on water. All these different things. So we do this biblical magic act with a lot of plays on words and miracles and stuff like this. So Penn is one of the celebrity judges judging us. We win that round, that episode. We win. It was kind of like an Iron Chef.
Yeah.
Or a Chopped.
Where there's rounds and you get whittled down to the final.
Right. So we win, and backstage, Penn says to me, he's like, man, I love that one. Anyone who blasphemes God is a friend of mine.
He said this to you.
Yeah, and I said, you know what's so fun about this, Penn? Because we didn't know each other very well at the time. I said, I knew that you would love the routine from that perspective. But Greg and I, Christians, we came to the routine from a sincere perspective. So you loved it ironically, we love it sincerely. We're both able to love it together. Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
And he went, huh.
You're kidding.
And he walked away.
Know.
He was speechless. Yeah, he didn't know. He had no idea. But he's done, like I have a soldier's Bible, a soldier's deck of cards as a Bible trick. He has the Atheist's Bible deck of cards trick.
I had not seen
that. So it's mediocre. It's no good. Like he's come up with better stuff than that.
Okay.
They're very smart in creating stuff, but that one's not one of their better ones. But it's very a very interesting relationship.
So in the magician culture, atheism is kind of the overarching religion, if you call it. Would that be correct?
That is correct.
And so
most magicians are atheists.
Most magicians, and you say you're not really sure why that is?
So it's a skeptic thing. You just, when you're a magician, you know that psychics are fake. You know that there's certain tricks.
Wait, psychics are fake?
That's right. That's right.
Oh, great.
You got to cancel that subscription to Miss Cleo.
Cancel that, please. Thank you.
We're psychics and mediums, people who talk to the dead, and magicians. We all shop at the same store. It's just we're selling it a different way.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, in the past, in the not too distant past, there were some religious leaders who were using those techniques to claim extra special power from
miracles.
God. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So there was a Popovich. what was the guy's name? Here in America, mega church pastor.
Really?
This is in the 70s, I think, late 70s, early
Okay.
80s. And he was using a radio earpiece, something that mind readers will use. And he was using prayer request cards to learn somebody's address and know what their prayer request was and claim that he was hearing from God. So this is a terrible thing.
Sure.
And I think Christians should be unequivocal about how they call that out as this bad thing. Bad guy, don't do that.
Right.
Because you don't need to.
No.
You don't need to. But he would say, so his wife was on the radio, and he would say, I'm getting somebody from Tulsa over here who has a problem with their lower back. Right? It's you, and your name is, the Lord is telling me it's Susan. Susan, your lower back will be healed. Jesus is telling me that right now.
Yeah.
Okay? Terrible human thing to do.
Yeah.
And a magician is the one who exposed it, because a magician just went to the service with a radio frequency thing to record that frequency, and it's pretty damning what he was able to put together with the video and the recorded thing there. So magicians see that, magicians go against all of it.
Sure. Well, that turns you off because
Here's what's great. Here's what's even better.
Yeah.
I come to Jesus because of magic.
How so?
Well, first of all, the guy who led me to Christ was a magician.
Okay.
At a magic show, shared the gospel much like the way that I just did in the first service here, and that's where I accepted Jesus as my Savior. Cool thing.
Awesome.
It's kind of full circle. But in the Bible, there's a magician. And we know his magic tricks because it was passed down through apprentices through the years, and so I kind of got to back up for a second. Magic as we know it today, brand spanking new.
Okay.
500 years old, tops. Magic as entertainment is a new thing. This didn't exist more than 500 years ago. First magic book was called The Discovery of Witchcraft, which magician published basically to keep people from burning our magicians and to say, look, this is not a real thing. We're burning...
Exposing what it was.
Stop doing this. This isn't a real thing.
Gotcha.
In fact, most of the deception, it's a very deep rabbit hole, but most of the deception was on the side of the people putting the witches to death. Like they would use magic tricks to prove that this was a witch.
Oh my God.
So they had magic gimmicks.
Yeah.
It was crazy, okay? Do a little bit of research and it's insane. But that's the first magic book, 500 years ago. And then it slowly shifts. We get a guy named Robert Houdin. He puts magicians in a tuxedo and becomes a gentleman on stage rather than dressed up like a wizard the way it was before. And then Robert Houdin gives his name to Houdini. Houdini changes it to this big publicity celebrity thing around the time of Charlie Chaplin. And then we get, Chris Angel, David Copperfield, David Blaine.
And we're here.
And here we are. The reason I say all of that is in the Bible, when it talks about the Greek and Hebrew words that the Bible talks about for magic, magos and pharmakos are the words that would be used in the Bible. It's where we get our word magician. It's where we get the word pharmacy. Because at the time, if you were a sorcerer, as the Bible would say, these were the masters of education. They knew astrology, astronomy. They were lawyers, doctors. They knew when to plant the crops, what the weather was going to be, all of that. Now, the Bible is not condemning lawyers and doctors and astronomy.
Education.
Yeah, obviously. But what the Bible was condemning was claiming power through all those things from a false God.
Yeah.
Or saying, I have these powers because I am God.
Right.
The words, when the Bible condemns sorcery, that word is the same word used to, not to condemn, to describe the wise men who visited Jesus. Okay.
Whoa.
Are these wise men pagan sorcerers? No, these were educated men. So what is the Bible condemning? The Bible is condemning the heart behind what it is.
Yeah.
So I say all of that to say Simon the sorcerer, a character in the Bible, was a magician. And he wasn't a magician doing demonic magic like you would think.
Sure.
A lot of people think
picture that.
They picture demonic magic and they picture a Ouija board with the devil spirit going through it. And no, there's actually, with that Ouija board, there's scientific
reasons that it's moving. And the secret is you're moving it.
Sure.
Okay?
Right.
That's what it is.
Let's be real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is it good or bad? Should Christians be using Ouija boards or not? That's not an interesting question. The interesting question is, why do you even believe that this is supernatural? It's not supernatural.
Yeah.
So Simon the sorcerer in the Bible, he's not doing supernatural magic. He's using deceptive magic to claim his own religion. He sees Paul. He sees Paul do a miracle.
Yeah.
And he goes,
a legit miracle.
and he goes, hold everything. What was that?
Yeah.
I need to get me some of that. That's insane. So he drops his followers, becomes a follower of Jesus. Simon the sorcerer becomes a follower of Jesus because he saw a miracle. He knew magic, and he's like, that's the real stuff. Like, I've been fooled by magic before, but I've never been so fooled that I go, that's supernatural.
Okay.
So if a magician who's the best of his time, famous, at the time, historians believe that Simon the sorcerer, more famous than Jesus.
Wow.
Okay? So if the number one sorcerer at the time, we're talking,
Yeah.
10 times
Top of
bigger
the
than Miss Cleo, way bigger. Everyone believes this guy can
Yeah.
do magic. He sees Paul do a miracle. He goes, that's real. Becomes a follower of Jesus. Now, of course, the story has a sad ending because after a little bit of time, he pulls Paul aside and he's like, all right, man, you got to tell me, like, how are you healing the blind man? Like, that's insane.
Right.
What's up? How is this happening? And Paul goes, it's miracle. It's Jesus. What are you talking about? And he goes, all right, how much money is it going to take for you to tell me? And he tries to buy position in the church, which is what I forget the name of it, but that sin becomes named after Simon after that.
Okay.
Paul says, there's wickedness in your heart, be gone, and you will never see the kingdom of heaven, sort of thing. Wow. And Simon says, I pray that's not true. Bye.
Yeah.
And the religion that Simon goes and starts, and Simon ends up dying from a magic trick. He tried to levitate off of a building and died.
That's a bad magic trick.
The magic trick didn't work, okay? Like it would have been good if it would have worked. Yeah. But the religion that he started, we can actually trace through history to the New Age movement today.
Really? That's crazy.
Thing. But for me, if a magician saw the miracles of Jesus and went, that's the real stuff, then I come to that.
So that was your confirmation to say, I get this. This is the real deal.
Yeah, I look at the Bible as a factual document, a historically valid document. I wish that I could come to magic come to
faith,
Christianity, faith, from an emotional, spirit-filled place. I see those people. I love those people. I don't know how they do it.
Yeah.
Because my brain doesn't shut off. For that. So I come to it from a logical place. Yeah. It's very easy for me to get to the existence of God from science, because science is getting closer and closer to being like, listen, guys, there's a starting point to everything, and the starting point has to be an intelligent creator, however you want to describe it. And so we can get to a point of God because of the complexity. I mean, even Darwin said, when we get down to the cell, it better be a simple organism, or my theory is wrong.
Yeah.
And we hadn't gotten down there yet. Now we're down there, and we can see, not so simple.
Yeah.
Okay. Everything. There's no way.
Yeah.
So I get to God very easily, and then when you have God, you have a smorgasbord of religions to pick from. So now which one do you pick?
Yeah.
Well, I pick the biggest God. I pick the God that doesn't require anything from me. The God that's all grace-based. If every other religion requires works from its people, or money, or different things, my God is bigger than all of that. My God says, look, you can't do anything. Right. You have no way of earning anything I got. I'm just going to give it to you. That's it. And so for me, that's Christianity, and that's how it's a totally logic way of coming to it.
Is that when you speak to other magicians and you talk about this part of it and how you come to it from logic, does that break down some of those barriers that say, oh, this is fake, the people are using this quote unquote fake religion to...
The way that I have to come there with magicians, so I've lived in Vegas for a little over a decade now, and I've got friends who I've been investing in for 10 years. And my group of friends in Las Vegas,
are all crazy pagan weirdos. All right, that's all, and they would be so complimented.
But we love you so
They'd
much.
be so complimented to hear me say that. Okay, in my friend group, we have an actual Satanist. Okay,
Really?
Goat head around the neck and everything. Love him dearly. We've got a couple people with open marriages. We've got atheists, fire breathers, sword swallowers, jugglers, magicians, crazy people.
Yeah, run the gamut.
These are all my friends, and I love them dearly. And when they come over for game night, it's a crazy-looking group of people. Sometimes we'll be walking.
I can't imagine that game night.
Man, we'll be walking. I forget what they look like because we'll walk through Walmart, and people will look weird towards our group. And I'm like, what are they? Oh yeah, I forgot. This guy's name is Bizarro. I totally forgot, like what he looks like, because to me it's just Jimmy, but also to the world he's Bizarro because he looks, it looks crazy.
Yeah.
But game night is a crazy thing, and I love on them, and they know that I don't agree with Satanism or with the extramarital things that are happening, or living, even as tame as living with your girlfriend.
Sure.
Like, that's my best friend. But he knows where I stand on that. But also, I disagree with brothers in Christ all the time. And every conversation with them is not, you really shouldn't be doing this, or whatever. And if that is your relationship with a brother in Christ, what a terrible relationship that would be. So I treat them the exact same way. We all get together. We play Settlers of Catan. It's a terrible game. I don't know why I let them play it. It's the most boring game ever. Stop playing this game. But we play games and we get in the pool and whatever, and they just know that I love them.
Yeah.
And they know that I love them because I let them hold my kid, and we're at my house, and we're just hanging out, and we agree on very little outside of the magic world.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is, first of all, the main thing is I was talking to some youth groups this summer, and they were like, well, how do you not let them influence your actions?
Yeah.
Well, I have a very strict set of morals, and they know it. It only
And they respect that?
It only took them a couple times before they figured out, oh, he's not going to come to the magic show we're putting on at the strip club. Like, we're not going to invite him anymore because he's said no.
Yeah.
And I don't say no in a terrible way. I just say, oh no, I'm not into that. That's not my thing. But thank you for thinking of me.
Right.
And then I invite them to my magic show at a church.
Right.
You
Do
know?
they come?
Sometimes not.
Has that impacted them in any way? I mean, like, is there any, within your friend group, are there any of them that secretly put like, hey, Justin, like, tell me more about this? Like, do you have those conversations?
So one of them recently, a friend of mine goes, all right, it's like 3 a.m., we're bowling in Las Vegas, and that's the best part about Vegas, is there's nothing ever closes.
No.
So you can bowl at 3 a.m. And she goes, all right, pitch me the Jesus thing. Just what is it? Just give me the rundown, just so I got it. Like, what's the Jesus thing? And I was not ready. I was like, oh, it's 3 a.m. I'm like, okay, so we're all bad people, hell, hang on, I got it. And that's why you got to be ready to give a word.
Right, yeah.
Because it's going to be something like that. She just had a moment. She's like, just tell me the Jesus thing now so I can make a decision on it.
Yeah.
But that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yes, they come to me on the side and they be like, man, this relationship is not working out. What am I doing wrong? And I go, well, here's, in my opinion, it's this. This is the way it looks to me. This is, I think, how God wired the universe. So you can see on my end of things, my relationship's working out better on this end. I think that's because of this decision making. And then they take it or leave it.
Sure.
So
Well, I always say it's not our job to convert.
Right.
It's our job to share.
Yep.
And then within them, the Holy Spirit will do whatever it's going to do, but that's not our job.
Right. So I had a really good buddy who just passed away, and he would have been considered an atheist through his death. The memorial service, he's a very famous magician within the community. And when he passed away, half the speeches given on the Penn and Teller stage were all about atheism. And this was a sad memorial service because I'm watching it and I'm going, the
memorial service was at the Penn and Teller?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because everyone's very close there.
Gotcha.
And people flew in from New York. I mean,
wow.
Everybody made an appearance at this thing. This is, if a bomb would have gone off in the Penn and Teller Theater at that time, the best magician in the world would have been Chris Angel, suddenly. So then everyone's talking about, there's just no hope in this room. But I don't know where he really died, where he stood, because I talked with him, and because he worked on the TV show Wizard Wars, and he knew my faith as a Christian, and I visited him in the hospital, and real old guy, and worked for the mob at a certain point in his life.
Wow.
So like a wise guy type person, and he said, I hate Christians. But there's something different about you. I don't know what it is. I said, well, thank you. And he goes, that Jesus guy, I don't like Christians. I like everything that Jesus guy said, though. He seemed pretty smart. And I said, well, John, I agree with you.
Yeah.
And Jesus didn't give you a lot of options. He said, it's just me, and that's it. Jesus said, I am the only way. Any other way is not to him. And he thought about it. He slapped me on the cheek, he kissed me. He said, I like that. Now, I have no idea the thoughts of a dying atheist.
Yeah.
And I don't know where he is right now. But it is a heavy thing to think about when you have friends who are that. Every magic friend I have that hates on religion, I can see that religion hurt them. I see it and I get it and I understand it. Religion has hurt me. I don't know.
It's hurt all of us on some level.
Yeah, there's always some terrible person within a church that's done something terribly bad. And we see it in the news, we see it in private life. So I feel for those people, and I just try to get them to the point of, look, we are not perfect, and there are going to be a lot of screwed up individuals in the church. It's supposed to be like that.
Yeah.
But if you just understand the words of Jesus, if you just understand the validity of the Bible, then you can get them to some place.
Yeah.
But it takes 10 years.
Yeah. Wow. And that's why Jesus came, because we're imperfect beings and we need a Savior. Right? So, well, thank you so much for sitting down with us. I want to continue this conversation a lot.
Man.
So we'll have to have you back maybe at some point. Who knows?
Would love it.
Really appreciate you being here. And you're going to go do some more magic. All right?
We are.
Appreciate it. Where can everybody check you out?
My website, justinflom.com. Facebook's where all the videos are going now because that's where the views are.
Gotcha.
But YouTube has the stuff too.
Right.
Just come out and see a show live and in person. That's stuff that you'll never see online. That's where there's some crazy stuff.
I'm excited for tonight. So before we go, can I pray for you real quick?
Please.
Let's do that. All right. Lord, we just thank you so much for this opportunity to share with Justin and his ministry, Lord, and the things that you're doing through him. We just ask that you would lift him up and give him strength, give him your power, Lord, and just pray that he would continue to make an impact for your kingdom and the opportunities that are in front of him. We know that you're doing amazing things through him. We love you. We lift this to you, and in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right.
Thank you, brother.
Awesome. Good deal.